What's going on, Opecast? Today I have a very special guest, St. Louis's own Keyon Harrold.
What's up, what's up, what's up?
Musician, a father, an activist, an entertainer, an artist, and I feel like I could keep going down. I'm happy to have you on here. We're in the beautiful Jazz St. Louis. You're from St. Louis, You're from Ferguson, and one thing we like to do in this podcast is really like just dive into the past and your St. Louis upbringing. One of 16 children.
Yep. Come from a huge family, brothers and sisters and cousins and everything else. You know, it's been an interesting upbringing because, you know, I see all these people, you know, they're all amazing and I'm just one of them. But when I go out, you know, in the world, it's just like, yo, I seen you doing this, whatever. When I come home to St. Louis and with them, you know, my brothers punch me in the stomach. You know, everybody's, you know, bring me something to eat. You know, it's different. So, you know, family is everything. So, yeah.
Was it a family of musicians?
A lot of my siblings do music, not necessarily professional. Two of them do professional. One of them is a producer. He does a lot of stuff with. Used to do a lot of stuff with 50 Cent and you know, some film stuff. And the other one plays drums with Gregory Porter. So yeah, we do a lot of music. But my father was a pastor. My mother was in the ministry, and my grandfather had a drum and bugle corps. So we had to do music all the time. You know, music was always around, and it was always a vibe.
So growing up, was it always music, or did you play any sports?
Man, I played sports. I played baseball. Love baseball. Come on, I'm a Cardinals fan. You know, I played football for a minute, all the way to sophomore year, and I got injured making a tackle. You know, because I was starting outside linebacker, and when I got up, it's like, damn, I can't move my arm. But I had like all state tryouts the next day that I couldn't do because my arm was messed up, so I couldn't play. So that really let me know that, you know what, you're probably not going to the NFL. This horn is what you really love, because I was longing for it because I couldn't really play it, you know. So yeah, I love sports, basketball, everything.
What song was hyping you up back in the day?
Back in the day, in St. Louis, or just in general?
Or just like, you know, hey, you have that big football game, baseball game, whatever, and you're like, all right, what were you listening to? What was it, with the Walkman? I think that's what it's called, right? The Walkman.
Walkman.
That we put
Dang,
you
telling my age. Walkman.
Is that the one with the cassette?
That was it. The Sony Walkman.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And you have the headphones that, like, you were rich if you had the two circles and the thing went around your neck.
Oh my God.
So it wouldn't fall off.
Oh my God.
I lived through it too, man.
You know what? At that time, honestly, I would have been different and listening to some jazz. You know, I was listening to like Wynton Marsalis at that time, and Roy Hargrove, and you know, Terrence Blanchard at that time. Let me see, what else did I listen to? Jay-Z. I was listening to maybe like The Dynasty and Busta Rhymes. If you really want to party with me, that's what I was listening to at that time. Now that you say it.
Yeah, getting hyped up. I'm sure you put those songs on and then you go back in memory lane.
Absolutely.
You left St. Louis, and I believe what I read was that's when you really got into producing.
Yeah.
How was that transition? Because you went from, you know, performing music into producing, so you're creating for others.
Yeah.
How was that?
You know what? It was kind of a bittersweet story. I was working with the rapper Common, my first professional gig. You know, we go on tour. He's touring this album, Like Water for Chocolate, amazing. You know, we're on tour for like kind of going like 2 years, but then he had to make a new album. The new album didn't really have trumpet on it. You don't just, you know, have extra people on tour with you. It costs a lot of money. So he was like, yo, you know, can't really take you on tour. And that obviously broke my heart. I keep telling you things that influenced me, but maybe it's for the better. At the time, it doesn't seem really good. So I was hurt. You know, it's like, you know, can't take you on this tour because there's not really, you know, much trumpet represented. So I told myself that, you know, Dad, I'm gonna get into production. So the next time it comes around, I'll never be kicked off of a gig simply because I play an instrument, you know. So I got into production. You know, and I ended up, working with, Mobb Deep. My first professional placement was with Prodigy and Mobb Deep on the Blood Money album with 50 Cent. And after that, I started doing a lot of in-house production for G Unit, and LL Cool J did the Queen Latifah theme song.
I saw that. Yeah.
And then a lot of other things. I'm always creating and making good music in some kind of capacity. I really don't have any walls as to what it should be. It could be from jazz, it could be gospel, it could be hip hop. It doesn't even matter. I just like, two kinds of music for me. You got good music, bad music. I only like good music. So anything else, can go to HELL. Give me the good stuff, and I'll work on that.
So the producing side was more self-taught, or did you have any mentors while you were doing it?
I mean, it depends. Mentors like who? Like Pete Rock, or like Dilla kind of vibes.
Kind of like just somebody that's in the studio teaching you, like, hey, this is how you do this, or did you already have a little bit of that?
At the time when I started producing, I was already a high-level musician, so I could go into different spaces. Like I can go into the space, with Common, and maybe he's working with Kareem Riggins. Kareem Riggins is a jazz musician, but a friend of mine who I could talk to about production. Chris Dave, same way. Robert Glasper, same way. I taught myself, but at the same time, it was always around. Greatness, okay, if I go into the studio, with the Hitman, I see what's going on. When we worked on, Jay-Z song Rock Boys, like I could see what the producers are doing. And so many other ways. Again, I'd be on big tours with different artists, and I would always see this. It wasn't like, oh my God, that person's my mentor. I would see it.
Just observing.
I observe it and I learn it, and I take it on my own, and I make it my own. As a producer, as an artist in general.
You're working with Common. He's from Chicago. You're from St. Louis.
Yeah.
So was there ever any rivalry, whether the Cards Cubs were playing, Blues Blackhawks?
No, I think he's from the South Side. So is that the White Sox?
I think so. Yeah.
They're terrible now. I think maybe at the time they probably had Frank Thomas or something like that. So that was cool. We never really talked trash about that, but.
And I think he's big on the Bulls too. Right?
He's definitely big on the Bulls. But since we didn't have a team, I was a Bulls fan at the time. So, I don't know.
I was gonna say, now we have the St. Louis Celtics. That's what we're.
That's a
calling it.
fact.
Yeah, that.
I love that. I love that. Congrats.
Shout out to Tatum.
Jason Tatum, thank you, brother.
You mentioned that you grew up listening to Jay-Z, and then you ended up not just producing, but performing with him on tour, and at some of his biggest performances even recently. How does that feel? Oh,
man, it's amazing to play with, certain artists, from Jay-Z and, again, Mos Def, and Alicia Keys just did something with her. I mean, it's always a beautiful, what's the word? It's beautiful to be acknowledged and to have the opportunity to be in those spaces. It's cool. It makes me feel great. That they appreciate my artistry as much as I appreciate theirs.
What is a day like? Let's say you're performing with any of them inside of it, whether it's an arena or stadium. What's that approach? The sound check, waking up, eating some good breakfast, the sound check.
This is the day in the life.
Yeah.
It's glamorous a little bit, but sometimes it's not so glamorous, because usually you're pulling into the city at maybe like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., hoping that the hotel room is ready. If it is ready, that's a win. Then you go to the gym, then you get some breakfast, and the day is going well, and then you get to sound check around 3 or 4. Hang out, get some food, work on what's happening, see what music's changing, seeing how the show will not go tonight, and then, you do the show, and it's amazing. People go crazy, people are inspired, and, it's on to the next city. If you pull into the city and the hotel room is not ready, you can just imagine a bunch of crabby people for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. It's inspiring, man, to basically be in the places that you've dreamed about being in, with the people that you've dreamed about being in them with. That's how it dawns on me. A few months ago, we did the thing with Jay-Z at the Louis Vuitton Foundation, which was incredible to see him do, some of his B-sides that nobody else would ever see him perform, and the place go crazy. That was, super dope, man.
Being part of that special moment.
Yeah.
So now you're traveling the world. What goes into creating your own album, your own music? Are you obviously inspired from traveling, the people you're performing with, but what goes into that, and what's your process?
Man, the artistic process for me is to try to be as clear as possible, but that just never really happens because I'm inspired by the things that are really visceral, which would be relationships, which would be things that are happening to people that I love, things that are happening to people that I don't even know. When I look on the news and I see something and I'm like, oh my God, something needs to be said. That person doesn't have a voice. Since my art is the way I speak, I'll be the voice for the voiceless. I'll be that person to try to, communicate some feelings that people just can't get out there. Visceral vibrations is, that's me. So, anytime I see something like that, I want to write. I'm inspired. Again, my son, I write about him. I write about, my family. I write about my friends. I write about, stuff that matters, causes, stuff like that. I mean, I do the fun stuff too, but I really, try to, when I write, I want to try to send, messages that will hopefully stand the test of time. Inspiring messages.
Inspired. I was going to say, I just saw your son your son just graduated from
Yeah,
high school.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. It's a long time coming.
Now, myself, I'm not a musician, but I love music, so I'm trying to get into your head.
Okay.
Like when let's say you're on a flight or something, you're looking out the window, are you just like seeing like notes and then you're like, okay, I got to write this down or I got to like hum this out?
You know what? Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes, but usually when it's like that, it's not on the plane. It's usually, for me, it's in the shower. It's in the shower. It's usually in a place that I can't do any music, that the music comes to me the most clear. On the plane, honestly, that's when I get my sleep because I'm up all night. I'm performing for everybody else. And, I wake up, get on the plane and, hopefully the Wi-Fi doesn't work.
That's good.
And I can sleep the whole way. And it's, then I'll show up and be fresh for that 3 o'clock sound check. But, when I'm, walking outside, just doing the most regular, most mundane stuff, that's when the music comes to me. It's never really when I'm planning it. I'm looking outside, or I don't know, running or something like that, where I'm like, oh, that's what that is. And then I bring out that voice note. I'm singing into the voice note, and those are the ones that are special. Or when I see something, or if I can see, I'm people watching.
Yeah, just
basically, I'm inspired by that because I'm imagining what that guy is saying to that girl, or what is that couple saying to each other. I can tell that person, what is that love like? Because that seems like something that I never seen, or that seems like something that's the way things should be. So I'm inspired in that kind of way. When I see it, it's like, oh, I wonder how I can channel that, or I wonder how I can find that, or what does that love sound like? That's the way I'm thinking about, in a music context, in a music kind of way.
I've always been curious about a jam session.
Okay.
I think about pickup basketball. Like I'm gonna play with somebody, I see their strengths and weaknesses within the first 2 minutes, but whatever their strength is, I gotta feed them, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So would you say, is that kind of like a jam session, or am I way off?
Well, jam session is, it's where people come to cut their teeth. It's where you come when you're trying to, first of all, you come for a jam session for a few different reasons. When I first started going to jam sessions, actually the first one I ever went to was next door. You go, you practice at home, You know, you practice all day. The jam session is where you come to basically show what you've been doing. You know, when you first get in the game, you go to jam sessions because you're also looking for work. You know, that's where everybody comes to hang. After they do that gig, you know, they come to the jam session. So if you go to the jam session and you see a young player, you know, killing it, it's like, okay, call him for the gig or call her for the gig. You know, so it's basically putting your practice into real motion. Everybody has you have a list of songs. And at jam sessions, you don't really go and do like new songs. You do songs that people know, so people can understand how you exist in the real space. So in a jam session, if you killing, everybody sees it. You know, it's like a pickup game. Mm-hmm. I would say that. But you know, when you first start, that's how it is. When you get, you know, a little bit more seasoned, you go to the jam session to show people that, you know, you can't mess with me. I'm the truth. I'm that person. And this, you know, and you go and you show that, you know what? And it's not even an ego thing. It's to show that this is the level. When you go to certain jam sessions, high level jam sessions, you know that, hey, damn, did you hear so and so? I heard him last week. It wasn't like that, but I heard him today. That person's been putting in that work. You know, so that's the level that I need to come to, you know, next week, or that's the level that I need to be at in general. You know, you got the people who are coming up and taking things seriously, but then you got those greats that you're like, okay, that's where I want to be. I want to be like that person.
You're lifting each other up.
Absolutely.
You're
inspiring each other. Taking that inspiration as fuel, not as hate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's all perspective on how you see certain things. Glass is halfway empty. Some people can go and see the person, you know, that wasn't so great last week kill it, and then all of a sudden they're, you know, dismayed. Mm-hmm. But then you can go and see somebody and be like, oh, damn. Let me get on my shit. Let me get it together.
Yeah.
You know, and it's cool. So the jam session is a vibe, and it's also super social, where everybody gets the chance to, you know, let their hair down. You're not thinking about, you know, I got to do this track. You're not thinking about, you know what, I'm performing. We got to play this music well. It's like, let me let my hair down and just have a good time. Let me play some blues. I'm going to sing tonight. I don't even sing, but I'm singing tonight at the jam session. I'm going to do my thing. You know, it's always good vibes. You know, I personally love to open it up for jam sessions because you never know what you're going to get. And you also, that's where the idea of community is. Mm-hmm. In if we're talking about jazz, that's where it is, you know, and anywhere else, you know. Yeah. You know, open mic is another word. You know, people like, I'm gonna go to the open mic. It's the same kind of vibe.
If someone wanted to experience their first jam session in St. Louis, where should they go? Midwest, and then maybe around the country.
Okay, in St. Louis, I think you should go to the Dark Room. They got a super dope jam session. I think my man Bob DeBoo does something on Wednesday nights at the Dark Room. Go there. They're playing incredible music. They're amazing musicians, and they're welcoming. And that's another thing about the jam session. Make sure you go to spots that are welcoming. Sometimes you get the ones where it's really closed off and super private and super, you know, egotistical. That ain't the vibe. That's not really producing, you know, what the jam session is for, and that's for people to grow. That's the ultimate thing for people to grow in whatever way that is. You know, you want to go where you're loved and where you're celebrated. Go to the Dark Room, check them out. That's St. Louis. Let me see, New York, you might want to go to Smalls, which is legendary. Let me see, in LA, where would you go? Where would you go to in LA? You would probably go to, I don't know. Yeah. Strike LA. LA is we doing performances. I don't know. Jam sessions are very important.
Yeah. Now let's talk about longevity.
Okay.
You've been performing since you were younger.
Professionally since I was about 15.
And we're not going to say your age. But,
no, 21. Is it cool to say 21?
So 6 years in the game, right?
Yeah. Just getting out here.
Now, how is it different performing with the trumpet then versus now? And how do you see that changing as you get a little bit older?
You know, when I was young, again, it was about showing everybody how fast I could play, showing everybody how loud I can play, showing everybody, you know, the technique that I have, that I worked on. You know, this is for you. you know, and don't try to test me, because if you do, I'm gonna cut you. You know, that's how it was. You know, now it's about making music. Now it's about making art. Now it's about making people feel. Now it's about giving somebody something to think about, you know, and them take something home, take a piece of me home. You know, using this piece of metal as a conduit to somebody's soul. That's what I'm thinking about, you know, at this moment. You know, it's not, I'm not really trying to show off. I'm not trying to prove it. I already know how to play. I've taken, you know, I've did the Malcolm Gladwell thing over and over. What is it, 10,000 hours? Yeah. I've done that several times in life as to how much I've practiced, how many gigs I've done. I'm not proving anything. I play with everybody all over the world in every venue size. So that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to, you know, make a statement and get to people's heart and, you know, show them there's a better way, trying to bring people together, bring communities together, you know, trying to change people's thought of what black people are to them in their community. Mm-hmm. You know, when you look at me, you know, what should you see? You know, should you see a thug, or should you see somebody who's highly intelligent, who's highly, you know, inspired to, you know, to make this world a better person? That's what you should see, you know. That's what I'm interested in the idea of me performing, what I'm writing, and what I'm trying to give. I'm trying to share at this point. At the time, I was trying to prove. Now I'm trying to share. Going forward, the idea of legacy is to leave something. Basically, you know, every seed that I've sowed, you know, all the mentoring that I've done, all of the lessons that I've given, all of the places that I've played, all of the people I've talked to, and giving them something to think about, that all of that stuff starts to come to fruition. I think, you know, that's what the legacy part is about it for me, is to see that, you know, what I'm doing now in this moment, you know, that is actually for the good and not the bad, you know, that is for somebody's edification and not their, you know, them being taken down. So, you know, I want the legacy part to be inspiring, something that, you know, that my music, that my words are inspiring the, you know, the next generations to come.
Yeah, so speaking about legacy, let's talk about your time here with Jazz St. Louis.
Yeah.
What has that meant to you to be working with them over the last few years?
Oh man, it's been such an incredible time that I've had the opportunity to bring amazing musicians in here, from PJ Morton, the Stout, Terrace Martin, and everybody else. You know, it's been really cool. And Pharoah Monch, and, you know, just my friends get a chance to come through. It's like it's been really, really cool. You know, I've had the opportunity to work on the education program, you know, let them know the intersection between jazz and hip hop. You know, they're not so different. They are a family. They come, you know, they actually benefit from each other. You know, showing how that is a thing is very important, which was part of my role. The concerts that we've done.
Your show right now.
Oh man, the show, the commission that I'm doing right now, which is the culmination of my time here. You know, the title is Where Are We Now, and what is it really all for? Mm-hmm. You know, that's everything. You know, what is the answer to that question? What are we doing? What are you giving? What are you living? Is how I define that. What are you giving? What are you living? So, shoot, my time here has been amazing. 3 years as creative advisor. I've seen some amazing, you know, students grow and learn and come to fruition, and now professional musicians all over the world. I've seen people inspired by the music that we brought here that they wouldn't necessarily listen to, that they wouldn't necessarily even know about. I've seen people crying. I've seen people change. I've seen, you know, people's attitudes shifted when they left, when they came into this building and left a better person. That's what I care about. That's what I'm into.
The impact.
You know? Yeah, impact. Shout out to, you know, the incredible work that the Mellon Foundation has been doing, and I thank them dearly for supporting my work here as a creative advisor at Jazz St. Louis. It's all funded by the Mellon Foundation, which is amazing.
Well, we got to get you ready for a show here tonight. By the time this episode comes out, it would have been just about a week or two ago. So you guys can listen to him. How can people follow you?
The way you can follow me on IG, my name is Keyon Harrold, Keyon Harrold, at whatever, at Keyon Harrold, that's on Facebook, X, and everything else.
Foodie Friday.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry to cut you off because you just brought up food, and I'm excited about food.
3 or 4 of your favorite spots in St. Louis.
Favorite spots in St. Louis. Here we go. We're going to start with Reds. First of all, I love barbecue. We're going to say Reds. We're going to say Emo's Pizza, sausage, black olives. Sausage, black olives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave it at that. Extra crispy. Make it well done. I'm going to say salt smoke. And I'm going to say, I love St. Louis Chinese food. That's across the board. Any Chinese food you go to, any Chinese restaurant you go to in St. Louis is going to be great. Honestly, this is going to be controversial. We'll put St. Louis Chinese food against China in Chinese food. Sorry.
Breaking news.
It's amazing to me. The one, you know what? The other place that I love, Olive and Oak. Amazing. They got a really good burger. Yeah, I love St. Louis eats. People know how to get down here. But shout out to the food down here at Jazz St. Louis. It's also banging.
Words of wisdom to anyone that aspires to do what you're doing, or it could be someone going through a tough time.
Okay, listen. I have a new song out. My album is called Foreverland. I wrote this song with PJ Morton. It's called Beautiful Day. And it's a beautiful day because I say. Sometimes we are inspired a lot by what other people think, but you have the ability to change, perceptions of anything because you say. It's a beautiful day because I say. It could be raining outside. It can look like hell. You can be going through the toughest time in your life. But if you say, you know what? I got this. It's going to be cool, and I'm going to get through it, and when I talk to you guys on the other side, then it's going to be all right. You're going to have days like that as an artist, quite often. When it rains, when it pours, it pours. There's going to be time where you're going to be the hottest. There are going to be times when people don't even call your phone. Mm-hmm. At that time, you got to look in and say, it's a beautiful day. I'm going through it. I can see what's outside, but you know what? It's going to be fine because I say. You got to take that time, find that inspiration wherever that is. It could be people, it can be life, it could be some music on the radio, it could be seeing our boy Jason Tatum, get that ring. Whatever that inspiration is, take it, hold on to it, hide it deep in your heart because you might have to, repeat that at another time when it gets quiet, when people ain't calling you, when you're losing loved ones, when you're losing loves. Whatever that is, find that, hold on to it, hide it somewhere because you might need to be the motivation for somebody else to get through it. It's going to be cool. Just know it's going to be all right. It's a beautiful day.
Everybody, Keyon Harrold.
Peace and
Appreciate
love.
your time, bro.
Hey, man, thank you. Thanks for having me, for sure.
Cool.
Thank you. Hope I said something that was all right.
No, you said